tell the Purim story. Every year it is the same. About Queen Esther and her king. Megillah is my name. Guess what I am, guess what I am. Tell me if you can. I'll give you hints so you can guess which Purim thing I am. You guessed what I am, guess what I am. You say nice and loud. You answered all the riddles. You were right now, aren't you proud? You were right now, aren't you proud?
So we decided to mix up our Purim singing with our story of Purim. It's tradition to do a Purim Shpiel, or a Purim play. So I am the play, sort of, and this is the chorus. And they're doing a great job. We're going to be singing 4 songs for you today, and they've been working so hard for several weeks. So a long time ago, the king of Persia was a man named Achashverosh. He ruled a huge portion of the world, stretching from India to Ethiopia. King Achashverosh liked to have parties. One year, he had a party that lasted for 180 days. One day, the king asked his wife, Queen Vashti, to come to his party. The king thought the queen was very beautiful, and he wanted to show her off to his friends. But Queen Vashti said no. She didn't want to go to this party. She didn't think the king's friends were very nice, and she didn't want to be shown off. So King Achashverosh fired Queen Vashti. She was banished from the kingdom. But now the king needed a new queen. The king liked beautiful women, so he decided to host a beauty pageant and appoint the winner of the pageant as his new queen. The pageant winner was a Jewish girl named Esther. She became the new queen. But Queen Esther didn't tell the king she was Jewish. She didn't know how the king felt about the Jews, a small minority in the Persian Empire, and so she decided to keep that information a secret. Before becoming the queen, Esther had lived with her uncle Mordecai. Now Esther lived in the palace. Her uncle missed her, so every day Esther's uncle Mordecai would walk by the palace to see how Esther was doing. One day, Mordecai overheard some bad men plotting to hurt the king. Mordecai immediately told Queen Esther, and Queen Esther told the king. The bad men were punished, and Mordecai's good deed was recorded in the king's record book. The king decided he needed a new advisor, someone to help him make decisions about how to rule Persia. The king appointed a man named Haman to be his new advisor. Haman didn't like the Jews. He didn't like that they were different. Haman particularly disliked Esther's uncle Mordecai because Mordecai wouldn't bow down to Haman. Exactly. Mordecai explained that as a Jew, he only bowed to God.
Ready to roll?
Hey, 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 man. Hey, 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 man. Hey, 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 man. Hey, hey, man. Hey, hey, man. Hey, hey, man. He wanted everyone to bow down. He wanted everybody to serve. That big boss man from Shushan, the loudest big mouth in the land. Hey, 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 man. Hey, hey, man. Hey, 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 man. Hey, 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 man. Hey, 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 man. Hey, hey, man. Hey, man. Hey, man. But Morty didn't know how to bow, and Morty didn't know how to serve. That big boss man from Shushan, the loudest big mouth in the land. Hey, 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 man. Hey, hey, man. Hey, 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 man. Hey, 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 man. Hey, 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 man. Hey, hey, man. Hey, hey, man. Hey, hey, man.
was, quote, a certain people scattered throughout the kingdom who have their own laws and customs. Haman told the king that these people were a threat and must be destroyed. The king agreed to support Haman's plans and issued a royal decree sealed with a royal stamp stating that on the 13th day of the month of Adar, the entire Jewish community in Persia was to be destroyed. Mordecai soon learned of Haman's plans. He was devastated. He tore his clothes and walked through the streets crying. Mordecai's niece, Queen Esther, heard him crying. She asked what was wrong. Mordecai told Queen Esther about Haman's plans and asked that Queen Esther try to save her people. But Queen Esther was afraid. The king didn't know she was Jewish. What if the king agreed with Haman? And also, she wasn't invited. No one, not even the queen, just went to see the king. You needed to be asked. But Queen Esther was very brave. She went to the king uninvited. The king was so excited to see his beautiful queen that he welcomed her in and offered her anything she wanted. Queen Esther said that she wanted to throw a party and that she wanted to invite Haman. The king loved parties, so of course said yes. At the party, the king said, "My dear queen, there has to be something you want. Please tell me. I'll do anything for you." But again, Queen Esther said that all she wanted was a party with the king and Haman. The king agreed, and so they scheduled another party. In a place you may have heard about, in Shushan, as you know, an evil man named Haman said, "The Jews have got to go." Now Esther was the Jewish queen, and she knew not where to turn, till Mordecai, her cousin, said, "There's something you must learn. Oh, Esther,
You can change the world. You can make the world complete. Take the pride you feel inside and never accept defeat.
there's an evil plot against us now, a list of cruel demands, and Esther, only you can help. Our fate is in your hands." She said, "Cousin, do you really think there's a difference I can make? A Jewish girl before the king, it could be a big mistake."
Oh, Esther, you can change the world. You can make the world complete. Take the pride you feel inside and never accept defeat.
So Esther went before the king, and though she was afraid, she stood up proud and spoke out loud, and her people all were saved. So now we read the Megillah at Purim time each year to learn how God can give us strength to overcome our fears. Oh,
Esther, you can change the world. You can make the world complete. Take the pride you feel inside and never accept defeat.
oh, Esther,
You can change the world. You can make the world complete. Take the pride you feel inside and never accept defeat.
On his way home from the party, Haman saw Mordecai on the street. Again, Mordecai refused to bow down to Haman because, as a Jew, Mordecai only bowed down to God. Haman became very angry at Mordecai. Haman decided he wanted to kill Mordecai. That very same night, King Ahasuerus couldn't sleep. To pass the time, he read some of his royal record book and noticed that Mordecai had not yet been rewarded for helping him to arrest the bad men plotting to hurt the king. Just then, Haman came to ask the king permission to kill Mordecai. But before Haman could speak, the king asked Haman a question. "Haman," said the king, "there's a man who did a great thing. I want to honor him. What should I do?" Haman was very vague. He thought that the king wanted to honor him. So he told the king that the man should be dressed in royal clothes and paraded throughout town on a royal horse for all to see. King Ahasuerus agreed. He told Haman to give Mordecai royal clothes and parade him around town. Haman didn't know what to say. Mordecai, that disrespectful Jew? But what could he do? So Haman gave Mordecai royal clothes and paraded him around town on a royal horse for all to see. That night, the king and Haman came to Queen Esther's second party. Again, the king asked Queen Esther what she wanted. This time, Esther gave a different answer. This time, Queen Esther told the king that she was Jewish. She told the king that her entire community was going to be destroyed by a very evil man. The king asked who could do such a thing to his beautiful queen, and Esther pointed at Haman. King Ahasuerus was furious. He ordered that Haman be killed. He further ordered that no harm would come to the Jewish community in Persia. That evening, the king and Haman came, and we say it again. That evening, the king and Haman came to Esther's second feast. The king asked her to name the enemy, and Mordecai was pointed out and hung on the gallows. Queen Esther and Mordecai told the Jewish community the good news. Everyone was so happy. They celebrated their triumph over hate and promised to always remember this day with good food and parties. They agreed to send gifts to each other and to give charity to the poor so that everyone could celebrate the story of Purim together. Today, so many years later, we still celebrate the story of Purim. We remember Esther's bravery and how she risked her life going before the king uninvited to save her people.